just about live. Welcome, folks. It's Friday night. You see that we are in a different location. And tonight we're drawing, we call him Jay, but his name is James Henderson. And we're just going to share out so that you guys can look at this thing live from Tuesday at 7.
I think you need to share it. I'm
All right.
having trouble sharing it from mine.
And we'll also talk with Tim and go ahead and make sure that we're all on the same boat in terms of positioning Jay for the evening. All right, let me jump in here. Beth, you want to do some
Let us
talking?
let us know if you want darker or lighter, different head position. Can you see how much room? Oh yeah, that looks really good. It looks on the screen. It looks a little bit fuller than it does on the. I can't. You'd have to see it from his.
Oh, I don't want to walk in front of it.
Oh yeah. But it's from about here up, and we have to get the light right.
Mm-hmm.
So we just kind of wait. Tim calls us and lets us know if he wants his head up and down or turn it, and we just make sure that it's all set for normal portrait drawing.
I got something on the stove.
Oh, okay.
It's fascinating. Thank you.
So I don't really have to worry about anything yet, though, right? Until you tell me what to do.
No, not yet. He's calling you. Than it does on the. Tim, call. I can't do it from his call.
Because he doesn't have he forgets to save your cell.
Oh yeah, hang on, Tim. I'm gonna give you a call, and we have to get the light right. So
we're looping.
We just gonna wait. Tim calls us and lets us know if he wants his head up and down.
All right.
Turn your volume off.
It's off.
Okay. So we know that there had been some troubles with the light, so we're in a place where there shouldn't be any light adjustment like it's normally by our front door, and so that shouldn't be an issue right now. And Tim, I'm calling you right now.
Hope everybody's doing all right this evening. It's if you're in Ohio, you know
it's no
that
problem. How are you doing?
we've had a cold day today.
Good.
We had some snowflakes fall, and that's rare for a few days here in May.
Okay.
But we're just loading up. We've got folks.
Can we have the camera a little bit more toward the center? We don't want it straight on, but a little bit more toward the center of his face. That's what we're trying for, yes. He just moved it, wouldn't let us know.
Yeah, we have.
Turn that. You need more contrast in the light.
So right now, guys, as you're signing on live, we are
Okay, hang on one sec. Let me make one adjustment.
working on lighting, and we are also talking with Tim Heron live here.
I just moved it a little bit. Let me know if that's better.
As you can see, the background is a little different. We're not in North Royalton, but because we have a
Is that a little better?
a lag here. We're positioning, then waiting for Tim's response, and then position, then wait.
Well, the head position is good, and then okay, and Jay, James or Jay, whichever. He responds to either one. Yeah, thank you. Yes, we do have a couple similarities. Straight ahead, okay. It's good. Yeah, it had shift. Yeah, we don't want to look up his nostrils. Okay. So, and actually, Jay, turn this just a teens. Yep, that's good. And then do you need me to move this?
A bit to this way.
Okay. Hang
Here, I'll
hang
move
on. Okay. Yep.
Good.
I'm gonna move it back just a hair.
Yep.
Yep. We're moving his the thing that
Perfect.
This focal point.
yeah, we just moved the thing that he's focusing on, so hopefully that'll take care of that. So that's good. All right. Keep me posted if anything needs to change. Yes. Okay, sounds good. Thank you. All right, bye-bye. Yes, please, any artists, if there's something that you think we should be doing to change it up, let us know. More light, anything like that. How does the light look thus far? Are you seeing comments? If there needs to be more contrast.
All right, so I guess I started a watch party as opposed to a share.
Yeah.
Should I close down and?
I would. I think.
All right, guys, I'm gonna close down. I'll come right back to Tuesday at 7.
Here, I'm gonna share it. I think I can now. I'm gonna try. I'm having a little trouble with sharing it to the Tuesday at 7 group. I don't know why. So this is Jay or James. He'll respond to either one. And we are just, here we go. Okay. Tuesday at 7. And okay.
We've got a whole bunch of people in this watch party.
Oh, well then leave it. I mean, if it's working, it's working. Let us know if you think anything needs to change for the light. Position. I don't want to mess around with the position too much.
All right. Well, it looks like we're 5 seconds away from 7:30, and we're gonna go ahead and. What should I do? Should I just let people join in the watch party?
I think we'll have to.
Or are the people here?
I'd ask if you needed help, but of course I can't go over there.
All right, guys. If I'm going to end this watch party, and then if you're on a Tuesday at 7, scroll down and jump on the other one, and then we'll set the timer. Because I don't think this watch party is gonna.
Yeah, they tend to have more of a lag.
Yeah. So if you guys are in that watch party, it's gonna flip off, and then we're gonna go ahead and jump back on. All right. So.
Yep, I've shared it to the Tuesday at 7 group. So he's gonna shut off the watch party and then just go to Tuesday at 7 Facebook group, and you can click into it there. I do see, looks like there's some folks on there. Hello everybody, happy Friday. Let us know if
All right. Well, we'll give a few folks, if you were clicked into the watch party, and then you'll see probably the video just shared live, not in a watch party. Sorry about that. We had it opened up twice, and we wanted to shut it down so we could all
Be on the same.
talk from the same
Yeah.
the same area. Happy Friday. It is 7:30, so we got Tim's thumbs up. So we're going to go ahead and start the timer. And I guess there's maybe some folks that are already starting to draw. And we're going to start the first sitting, the first 30-minute, and timer set.
Timer's on.
We, oh, you're moving the microphone?
Oh, just so it's catching both of us equally,
Oh,
I guess.
well, that's perfect.
Thank you.
You know
Hi,
what?
Janet.
For just a second there, I thought that I'd have nothing to crunch, but there are some things out here to crunch.
I don't know if Nancy's on yet.
She's out there. Hope you guys are well. It's
Friday. It's May
May 8th.
8th, and you are witness to the last of our household. We have no more children of our own to present to you, so we'll have to get creative with Tim for next week. Again, we hope that sooner rather than later that you'll be back in person, figuring out some type of way to be having these studio sessions in person. Hi, Nancy. But we'll talk with Tim and think about what's going to work best for next week, while he is doing the hard work of figuring out how to have these live sessions, because I know that thank you, Nancy, I appreciate that. He does look a little bit like me. I can't imagine being all of the people who are having to figure out whether it's a barbershop or a artist studio or a library, whatever it is, to figure out how to work with all these vague but not vague guidelines. And I'm sure there's a way to be able to make it that these portrait sessions can happen live again, and I don't envy Tim having to be the one to figure that out. But in the meantime, we will continue to work with him, but we bring you the end of our progeny.
For 8 weeks.
We're out of
This
kids
is
and
officially 8 weeks, and you've met the young tribe under our care, and but there's going to be a different face in front of you.
Yeah.
In front of
Yep.
you, and you won't know where or who until
We might not
7:20ish.
either.
If you're there during the setup for the first 10 minutes, and then you'll get a peek. But if you sign in at 7:30 next week, we'll.
Yep.
Oh.
What?
I'm not going to tell about Tuesday 7 yet, because we inkled last week what Tuesday 7 was going to be this week, because it's going to be.
I forgot.
Oh, well, I'm not going to. Well,
I'll
if you
just look
forget,
at the
we'll.
calendar.
Maybe I'll bring that back up, and I should probably.
Decide whether you want to talk about it.
It's too early. People are drawing and they're focusing in.
Right.
We got mad pastels working right
Absolutely.
now, and
are we doing two poses again?
Two
So
poses.
it'll be the just as we've done for the last few weeks. Jay will sit for 2 half-hour sessions, and with a 10-15 minute break in between, and then we will turn off the live stream, and then we will move to a second pose and jump back into the live stream. I am seeing that the live feed is pixelating a little bit, so we'll keep an eye on that, and if it doesn't clear up, we'll
it usually clears up.
yeah, it's usually just a momentary glitch.
Well-
but we are seeing it too.
Well,
so.
you know what? This is kind of like, and I see that we've got a bunch of folks joining, and I remember it was Bob Pauley who just recently joined that said use the squinting method, and so now this pixelation is
there
the
you go.
opportunity
Squint
to
right
have
out
your
of it.
squint method, right?
That's
Squint,
true.
this kind of squinting, which is simplify shapes and form and drop it in. So we'll work through that and
Squint right out of that.
yeah, squint right through it.
And let us know if we should make any other. It's coming out. Let us know if we need to make any. I see that there are some shadows. I don't know if those are good shadows or bad shadows.
Those are good shadows.
Okay. Well, that's why I'm asking, because I'm not a. I don't know.
Well, the reason why I'm smiling is because there's probably like 10 artists that already have the scene drawn and are already
true.
dropping stuff in, and they're like, "Don't move it, don't move it."
That's true. I know. Well, we can worry about it more for the second one.
So, Laura, to close, Pat, Jim, aka Debbie, Paulie, we see you folks are on. We've got a good group of folks actively drawing right now, and we're glad that we're together. It's kind of strange. This marks the 8th week.
Oh, it's strange.
It feels kind of like a time warp to me. Does it feel like a time warp to you, Beth? Like 8 weeks is a long time.
It is it doesn't feel like it's been that long, and kind of when I think about it, sorry, let me respond to Dwayne Dixon. I don't know if he got in or not. The video.
Hi, Mary. Laura. Oh, I see. Yeah, Laura commented that the pixelation went away. Yeah, that's it. It's strange. And a few weeks ago, you saw Drake online. I was asking Drake about Facebook. He's like, it's just the way that it's the way that it records, and it's the live stream, and it's just not high quality. And so we fight through it. But right now, like, it looks really good to me.
Hello.
But we got some sun coming
Hey.
in on one side.
Oh, turn your head to your right a little bit. You moved. Yep, that's good. Is that better? Yep, thank you. All right, stay very in that position.
We're going to apologize here right ahead, because what you're going to find is that as that sun goes down, we're going to lose some of that natural light over from that side.
That's true.
So
That's what caused that change.
that's what caused that change. Was we had
were
the
trying so hard to avoid that
but at any rate,
sunlight issue.
we're going to get some lighting changes as that sun goes down. So we want to kind of give you that warning.
The sun was behind the clouds because it's been gray all flipping day, and now suddenly it decided to poke its head up.
John, it's good to see you out there. Amy, good to see you out there as well. And Amy, you are absolutely right when you said the lighting seemed to have changed pretty dramatically. We had unexpectedly sun kind of shining through. We don't know if we're. Do you think this one, Beth, would be I think. Oh, you're right. We're gonna try to see what we're talking about here. Anyway, it is good to see you, Sarah. I see that you just joined, and we're really excited to see a whole lot of people drawing live. It's amazing to see what you guys do, and that you're spending Friday evenings with us together.
While we try to figure this out.
Yeah. Hey, Anne, Denny, Debbie. Yep, we're in a different space today. And Beth is that. I think is going to be helpful. Guys, as you see the lighting change, we apologize, but we had a
Burst of sunlight.
burst of sunlight shining on us. Yeah. It's funny, I see a whole bunch of hearts rising from the screen. They look like they're coming from Sarah.
Is that better?
Yes. Alright guys, thanks for that lighting, for being patient with us during that lighting. And we're glad to be back. We've got 36 people on live, and Beth just left the room, and so you'll hear me monologue for just a bit. Hope everybody's doing well. I don't see John. Is it Truxel out there? But John, if you're out there, happy birthday. We had some folks also join in last week, and for your knowledge, we have probably 40 or 50 people who share their work during the week. There's another often 150, 200 people that join in as well and draw and just don't share. So there's these quiet folks out there, and we are so happy. If you're one of those quiet artists, we're really happy that you've joined us. Hopefully during our chatter you learn some things. Maybe you just want to turn us down and turn your music up. You can do that. If you are a person who just likes to turn off the comments, do that as well. Hey, Janet J is with us. And Janet, we for those of you who talk, because we talk about the Mummy and the Monkey, because as soon as all these portrait sessions are over, we often go over to we click over to the Mummy and the Monkey.
We sure do.
And that's where I grab my pad often and start my drawing. So Janet is the mummy of the Mummy and the Monkey, but we're glad that you're on here. I'm sure that you're on and you're back off because you have a busy night. I think that they're live again tonight. They've been really putting out the greatness over there at that channel. And Bob mentioned great model. Yeah, he's got.
He's a great model.
Yeah, he's sitting still. When I think about.
Says, hi, Jay.
When I think about, like, if we would have put any of these folks in front of the camera when they were like 8 or 9, yeah, but
not so much.
But like right now, it's like statuesque.
Mm-hmm. It's true. We're very hello, Denny. We're very fortunate that. Yes, we wanted to. We know that there were troubles with consistent lighting. But we've got it. Okay. Sorry, I'm getting caught up. Let's see. Looks like everybody is in and okay.
We've got a full house.
Yeah.
We've got a full house live. It looks like we're in the mid upper 30s. Mm-hmm. This is the very first sitting for pose 1.
Yep.
Again, we're just about halfway through this first sitting, and then we'll take a 15-minute break, and then we'll start the second sitting. And after that, we'll turn off and
second
reposition.
Pose.
Second pose.
Yep. And it is Friday, and you said what, May 8th? I can't even keep track of the days. It's snowing. Bleh.
In May.
Yep.
That's unusual even for Ohio. But last week we had Judith McKeever join us from South Carolina. And Judith, she said she always wanted to draw, but it was too long of a drive for her.
Now she doesn't have to worry about that.
I don't have to worry about it. And I'm sure it's not snowing down in South Carolina. So Judith,
No.
we hope that you've joined us again tonight. We also had Julie Michelle. And Julie, I'm assuming it's a mother, I think it was mother-daughter,
Yes.
had her daughter draw the first time as a...
That looked great.
Oh, yeah. Whoever draws for the first time and nails it like Julie's daughter, you are destined to be a regular and a portrait artist. Great work.
Absolutely.
It looks like we got a comment from Janet J. She says, thanks for the shout out. She's hanging out a while, getting ready for tonight's show. And there's several of the artists, Janet, who will kind of start the work. And after we shut off live, they just click over to the Mummy the Monkey and they finish out their work there. We've had some folks say that they get a little distracted and they have some fun and they stop concentrating on their portrait and start eating popcorn and
That's true.
And laughing.
My cousin Diane lives down in New Orleans. I was texting with her earlier, and she said that, of course, this cold front is going through, so it's going to be in the 70s now in New Orleans later this weekend. And I was like, oh, boo-hoo.
Jennifer New Year, hello.
I hope everybody had a good week, and
No, wait a minute. I have to
What?
just stop right now. So
What?
Mary Schwartz. It says actually it's Charlotte Wells, not Mary. And so
oh right, it does get confusing. We don't know who's logging in through which.
yeah, because it's we also have Debbie, not Jim,
Right.
and so
And there's a couple spouses that periodically will comment for the other spouse if the other one's not logged in. So it is a bit of a guessing game for us at times to know exactly who we're communicating with.
so tonight I'm going to be coming for Beth, just so you know. Do you hear her choking on her beverage?
I didn't know that we had discussed that beforehand.
Tonight I will be coming for Beth, so you know.
That would be interesting. Oh.
For those folks that join us each week, you realize that we used to be on Good Behavior, and right now we just trust that you guys turn off the sound and turn on your music. And
Well, I think part of it is that at the beginning when we started this, we had more specific topics to discuss because we had been doing more things, and now it's just been us in our house and working in our house and entertaining in our house and cleaning our house and so we're scrambling a little bit to come up with more broad topics, and so they get stuck listening to what we actually sound like in our house the rest of the time. But that's okay.
well, we're kind of anxious because it's going to be a week or so, and restaurants are going to open up, and we think that things will kind of ease up a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't know what it's going to look like. We're anxious to see what it looks like, but what we're most anxious to do is to meet some of you guys in person, because it's kind of weird because I'll be like, oh, so tell me how's Bowie, and they'll have lived with us for
8 weeks or more. Who knows how long they'll have been in our home. Janet says it's very tough to sit that still. She modeled once for Dr. Sketchy's anti-art school. Kudos to the model.
Whoa,
And
whoa,
I
whoa,
agree.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
He's sitting very still.
I didn't see
please-
that.
She just posted it
Wait, how am I missing that
or
comment?
commented it. I don't know. It's right in between
Wait.
Mindy's comments.
First, what does it say again? So
It's very tough to sit that still. Modeled once for Dr. Sketchy's anti-art school. So Google that. I don't know what Dr. Sketchy's
Sketchy
anti-art
Anti-Art.
school is.
I'm looking
but
it up.
That looks really cool. But yes, Jay, you're doing a great job sitting still. I have to say that's one thing that I have enjoyed about all of this is now we know exactly how still our children can sit, which we certainly had never really forced them to figure that out prior to this occurrence. So it's interesting for us to see exactly what they can all accomplish.
Next time in Sunday school, they'll be expected to sit still.
Vacation Bible School.
I was known to
Be troublesome.
let me respond on your behalf. Not troublesome.
No, amazing.
Rascally.
That's
At
right.
times.
That's right. Yes.
Rascally at times.
Yes. Keyword.
But I don't know why I'm still looking up.
Dr. Sketchy's anti-art school.
I would imagine that there's artists out there that probably know what that is, but I love the fact that I'm getting a search.
Maybe we're
overloading the Wi-Fi.
Well, if you have a link to that, Janet, if you don't mind posting it in your comment, because I think that's going to drive Roger crazy until he can check it out. And
for those who joined us this past Tuesday at our regular show, we had Dr. Julie Massimo. She's a psychologist, counselor, and we had a chance to talk a little bit about how depression, anxiety, even things like situational stuff, chemical dependency, those type of things that people are struggling with during this time of isolation. We figured it was probably an appropriate time to address some of those things, and so we kind of deviated with purpose. We deviate from as Beth is giving us the quotes.
It wasn't really deviate. It certainly wasn't interviewing a creative, but it was for the purpose of continuing a conversation around being the best creative that you're able to, and how to recognize that whether you're creating or just living under stressful circumstances, whether it's a quarantine or anything else, a divorce, a death, whatever it is, that paying attention to what your emotions are telling you, you're going to do better. Oh, Amy Brodsky is a therapist too. Excellent. 7 minutes and 8 seconds left in this session. And Janet responded and said that this was a local event from about 10 years ago that they held at bars in Cleveland and Akron, and it was a drink and draw.
Oh.
So I can totally see Janet being perfect, sitting up on a little bar stool while people were drawing her and doing that. So, all right, so that's very cool.
So if Janet ever appears, well, she couldn't appear on a Friday portrait. We'd have to have
It would have to be another night.
Yeah, because
we can
she
do
goes
one
live
on a Tuesday sometime.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
But with that, enough talk about depression. Because this is happy time, but we have something to celebrate,
that was the
right?
point, was to be happy, not depressed.
Right, so what
are we celebrating?
I'm gonna pull out my lighter.
What are we celebrating?
Well, we have a birthday girl out in the audience.
Oh, that's right, I forgot.
One, at least. And I know that...
No, we have two. Well, one that we know is here.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, obviously two, because there's...
I thought one of our artists was also...
Oh, yeah, well, I'm assuming that John's out there, although we haven't seen him. If it's his birthday, John, I don't know if it's Truxell or...
Yeah, that's right.
So John's out there, but also it's
our niece
Mindy's,
Mindy,
yeah.
and her twin sister Missy. who isn't really a Facebook user. So Mindy gets to hear all the birthday congratulations. So happy birthday, Mindy.
If we were at Chi-Chi's, we'd put a giant sombrero on your head.
Heck yeah, and get some fried ice cream.
How did their happy birthday go at Chi-Chi's?
I don't remember. All I remember is the sombrero and the fried ice cream coming out, but I'll be honest, I don't remember whether they sang or clapped or what.
If I heard
or
like the
if
first
it was a chant, or I don't know. See, I worked at
cha-cha-cha, I remember there was clapping and cha-cha-chas and
Really?
maybe maracas
Oh yeah, there were maracas. Yes, but I
and a
have
big
no
giant
idea.
sombrero.
Oh yeah, but I don't remember what they said with the maracas and the sombrero and the fried ice cream, because really all I wanted was the fried ice cream. So I don't remember that.
Fried ice cream, what do you think?
Sometimes the fried ice cream was very, very good, and sometimes it was disappointing. So Mindy says thank you, and she says she misses Chi-Chi's. I think we all do, but I had Chi-Chi's margaritas
For Cinco de Mayo.
For Cinco de Mayo on Tuesday. I was at Giant Eagle, and they had a bottle of Chi-Chi's margarita. And it wasn't bad, actually. Sometimes you buy that pre-made margarita, and it's pretty bleh. But that was pretty decent for cheap grocery store
I know,
margarita
but
purchase.
it felt complete. True confession time.
I feel tawdry.
No, confession time, because we always share things that we probably shouldn't on Friday nights. But
True story. You have 3 minutes to
alright,
share.
3 minutes, and I'm sure that this is just between we artists, or is it us artists? We artists?
Us.
Artists?
Yeah.
Alright, so just between us artists.
Do you not like Chi-Chi's margaritas?
No, I do, but it's Tuesday, and we're talking about depression and anxiety, and we're talking about those things that are very important. We're also talking about
Tacos and margaritas.
no, we were talking about substance abuse, and
Yes. That's true.
and probably what should have been done is we should have just been practicing hydration with water.
That's true.
And but it was Cinco de Mayo. We had a margaritas.
I had a lot
Off
of ice.
screen.
I had a lot of ice cubes in my margarita, so I was doing both in the same glass. So that's true. And I suppose there is a bit of odd feeling to say, "Hey, let's talk to a counselor about this," but it wasn't solely about chemical addiction or any other kind of addiction.
yeah,
so I think
of course
we're okay.
not. And Dr.
Excellent.
Julie Massimo had a glass of red wine
She did.
in the background, but she didn't tip it up during the interview.
Yeah.
Very professional of her.
Right. Exactly. She just had it on the side.
Yeah.
But
All right, guys, we're coming down to a couple minutes left here in the first, and
yeah. So this is
Jay,
Jay.
you're sitting, and his elbows are not even on that chair. Like that chair,
Oh,
like
it didn't help at all. See, the problem is we keep trying to use an arm chair so that they're more comfortable, and I forget that these young men are so much taller than I am. So I grabbed this chair with the arms, and the arms don't even come up to his elbows. So that did absolutely no good whatsoever.
that's right.
Oh well. Yeah, he's being super still, just sitting there. It's very impressive. I was gonna say something though, and I forgot. So again, if you weren't here, so Roger and I have a blended family, and so Rowan and now Jay are my kids, and then Drake and Delaney are Roger's, and then you also got to draw our nephews, Luke and Adam,
Who stay with
who
us?
live with
yeah.
us, and so you've run through the entire family, and we're out of kids. So
you say.
I know kids. We're out of the young
Out of
adults that we
yeah.
produced a couple decades ago, and yeah, there is a slight resemblance with Drake and Delaney and Roger and Jay and Caitlin and Rowan and me, somewhat. and it's been absolute fun getting
All
to do
right,
this.
we're down to 20 seconds, and then we're gonna put Beth in the hot seat for this one. And I'll go on the hot seat after.
We'll take turns in the hot seat.
Yeah.
After we tape up the footstool and kind of keep track of where his face is, so we don't. Oh, it's getting a little pixelated again.
It's not pixelated on my screen, just on your screen, which is weird
good.
because we're right next to each other.
Well, it's broadcasting through mine, so that might be why.
So you folks probably heard that because we have the timer right on the microphone, so it probably buzzed and everything.
Yeah.
So, Jay, you can go ahead and get up.
You want to tape him?
No, because we have nowhere to put his arms and his feet are up under there, but we'll...
Okay, so remember your, like, kind of your head position and exactly where you are so that you can reset and look the same. So you can...
Ooh.
Yep.
It's weird sitting like that. I described it as to me, it felt like a slight out-of-body experience. To focus in.
Really zone out.
All right, Beth, on the hot seat.
Were you looking at a candle?
Yes. And I had my glasses on, and I had this of focusing out at the candle, and then I had the lights on my glasses.
You found the perfect things to block those windows.
Yeah, exactly. Are you paying attention to the time?
Yes. Yeah, so we're on a 15-minute break. We're going to go back up at 8:15 for the second sitting, which gives you, all you artists, you have like 13 and a half minutes.
Scurry.
Oh, but you are sitting way low. It's really, you got to get up on your feet or something. When you're...
They're so tall. All these people with their, is that better? With their tall torsos. I'm sitting on my... I'm afraid I'm going to fall out of the chair.
Is there a booster seat anywhere?
Shut up.
Go to Ponderosa and put you in a booster seat.
Yeah, the little one that hooks up on the table. I'm not that short. I mean...
I didn't say you were short. I was just saying you need a booster seat to get in the camera.
Yes, I'm saying, I know that. Rowan is the shortest. She's only 5'2". I'm average at 5'5". But everybody else in the family is over 6 feet. Way over 6 feet. So, it's been an experience, and it's really difficult when they decide to hit 6 feet. I'm sure a lot of you have this. They decide to hit 6 feet like 8th grade, and you're yelling up at somebody. So that's not as much fun. But hope you all had a good week, and if there's anything been interesting going on, any other celebrations, birthdays, births, good projects, something.
If we have a lot of artists here in Northeast Ohio, and it was the 50th anniversary of the Kent State shootings on the 4th.
That is not a celebration.
It is not a celebration, but you marked a time in history. But the reason why I brought that up is because Lauren Nagy had that, he has an art installation out there, and he joins us and draws as well. And so I shared that out to the Tuesday at 7 Facebook page, and I'm frozen here, so there's my little pause sign back on. But I shared that out to the Tuesday at 7 Facebook page, and so it was cool because what he did is he had a selfie stick or his camera, and he was walking around, and he was sharing a little bit about the artwork out there.
Yeah.
And his installation piece.
And Kent always has great stuff anyway, and I'm sure wrapped around that such a big anniversary, I would imagine that a lot of the projects and the artwork and writing was pretty incredible to see.
Paula St. John already shared a semi-blind contour line drawing.
Ooh.
And so we're starting to see that. So while we're on break, it's actually, I believe, the perfect time to, we got some great stuff out here already getting shared. And this is a good time to share those progress photos. Thank you. We encourage you to share photos of your workspace.
Yep.
I think Tim even puts those into the...
I think so.
The photos to document this week, especially in these weeks in isolation. He's putting those studio shots in the album.
Yep.
So
he does such a great... I mean, Tim, you are so organized and you do such a great job getting all of that artwork, you know, the artist's name, and putting it in the album so that people can find it so easily. You do a good job with that. And again, pretty much everybody knows, but if you shared this recently with a new artist, so this is the Tuesday at 7 Facebook group, working in collaboration with the Pretentious Cleveland portrait artists. Obviously, Tuesday at 7 implies that we're normally on Tuesdays at 7. And Roger interviewed Tim Heron 2 months ago, a little bit over 2 months ago.
Beginning of March.
And it was a great interview. And you can find that by going to YouTube and go to the TUES at 7 channel. And after that interview, Tim, and when the shutdown occurred, Tim and Roger talked, and we volunteered to see if, instead of breaking the 15-year schedule that had been upheld with the portrait group on Friday nights, we said that we would see if we could help facilitate so that none of you had to miss that. And it has been wildly more successful and much better than we even thought it was going to be. So we really appreciate the opportunity to help with this. But if you wonder who we are and why we're doing this, that's fine. So this is working in conjunction with the Pretentious Cleveland portrait artists. And you can see an article that Tim was interviewed by IdeaStream 2 weeks ago. And so that was on the radio 90.3 here in the Cleveland area, but it's also on the IdeaStream website. And Tim talks about the start of the group and some of the artists in that group and kind of how this has been working on their side of it. So my glasses.
You have way, it's huge.
Oh. Ring?
The ring lights,
oh.
Yeah. If we
of course,
were drawing,
now I can't see.
Yeah, so much so it's like super distracting. Yeah,
that makes sense. Thank you for noticing that. I haven't worn my contacts in about 3 months. My eyes are the next time I put a contact in, my eyes are probably going to rebel greatly. And I need to go to the optometrist anyway, which is the other reason I haven't bothered to put my contacts in, because I don't know that they do any good anyway. So, what time is it?
It is 8:09, so we're gonna still give it another 2 or 3 minutes, and then we'll give we'll put Jay back in the chair at 8:12 or 8:13. We'll realign, and then we'll do our second 30 minutes for this first sit.
Yep.
Our first pose.
Absolutely. And again, yeah, send pictures of your studio, your first sketches, your companions who are helping you to draw. Share anything fun and interesting, that celebrations, whatever, any good books that you've read. And I'm always looking for new book titles, so if you've read any good books, please share them. I don't really have anything.
Well, you know what we're going to share in the second 30 minutes, after everybody has their drawing implements or their pastels or their paints in hand. Oh, we get a lot of great work that's been delivered to the house and dropped off and stuff like that. Some amazing stuff. But we're going to share what we're going to do this Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember what we're going to do this Tuesday?
I don't.
Okay. Well, as soon as I tell you, you'll be like, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I will remember it.
We talked a little bit about it last Friday, and we were talking about it kind of as a, it's kind of a pitching it out as an idea, and it sits well with me, and so it's going to be a fusion of several different mediums this Tuesday. We'll share with it after everybody's sitting down, but for right now... I feel
bad because I don't remember, but the problem is that you'll be discussing like this one and this one and this one, and so they all kind of like this week we might be doing this, and I'm thinking about that one, and last week, and so I forget who's the current interview, who's the upcoming interview, and I know I'll remember it the second you start talking about it.
Usually it's me not listening to you.
I didn't say I wasn't listening. Funny.
Well, what
Funny,
were you saying?
I was saying I listened
You
to.
didn't hear Jimi Hendrix.
I'm listening too well, and I have too many names that it could be. Funny. Yes, I love you.
I listen too well. You might be something that you might hear at some point. Anyways, all right, let's get Jay back in that chair because enough of our stand-up. Jay, if you would see if you can just kind of plop yourself down and tuck your feet up under like it was before.
Yeah. Let's see if I can. All right.
And thank you all for sharing the evening with us, for enduring our really mindless chatter, and for sharing your fabulous artwork along the way. Jay's kind of going to get back in position here, and if I was drawing, I'd be able to look and say, I think he's in the right position. Jay, what do you think? Does it feel right? All right, we got Tim on here.
I think you need to turn a little bit.
Hello?
Just a little.
Hey. Just turn his head just slightly towards the camera.
Just a teens.
All right,
Eyes too. So.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a lag here, so.
I think that's it. I think he's.
Does that look better?
Move it.
Okay, he's set perfect. Yeah, no,
More?
Not a problem. Does that look good? All right, sounds good. Give us a call if there's anything else. We'll talk to you in 30 minutes. All right, bye. All right, guys, we got Tim. We got the thumbs up.
Yay. So, Bob Pauley down in Cincinnati. Let me start the timer. 30 minutes going. Bob said his great niece Lily, who, remember, she and her mother have been sketching with us, but Lily is 16 this week. So happy sweet 16 to Lily, and thank you for being here and sketching with us, and I hope it's a wonderful birthday. That's terrific. 16's fun. Very cool.
She's probably too young to remember Chi-Chi's, but if we were all in the room, we'd move that sombrero right from Mindy's head over to Lily's head, and we'd sing the Chi-Chi's Happy Birthday song.
That's true, which I don't remember what it is, but let's see. Oh, Olga. Okay. Hello, Olga.
Olga, did she join us? Is she back in with us?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. We're so glad you guys are here. And wow, a lot of comments. We've got a lot of folks joining. Thanks again. And we are glad that you folks have chose to spend this Friday again with us. In case you are, wow, that's
Amy,
awesome.
that's so cool. Thank you, Amy Brodsky. I'm just looking at some of the posts, and I love them.
Yeah. Thanks for posting your in process. Thank you for posting your studio space. We greatly appreciate it. Next week we will have a fresh face, and it won't be
One of our
it's
children.
not going to be anybody from our lineage, and so it's going to be a total different genetic pool that you'll be drawing from. So just about the time you figured the features out, we're gonna put something, and who knows, we're gonna have fun next week. But you guys, were about 3 minutes ish into this the second sitting, and we are on our way. There's a lot of new artists that
I love it.
that are drawing, and we are so happy that that you're drawing. And we have seen some. First of all, I guess I should probably say that I feel like I'm drawing better now, 8 weeks in, that I'm now making a part of my weekly habit. And for those folks that are picking up their pencils and their brushes or the pastels or their chubby oil crayons, for those folks that are picking it up too, I hope that you're finding some reward here as well. And we're seeing a lot of growth from folks too. Thank you for sharing. But newer artists, and we've got some high schoolers, some really talented prodigies out there. So back when we were pixelated 30 minutes ago, we went to Bob Pauly's, his little, not little, it's a big suggestion, and that is by squinting allows you to simplify shapes and form to drop down on the page. And so thank you, Bob. If anybody else has things that they can share that they may have learned along the way, or things, a little trick that they've seen, we appreciate that. But we've shared over the weeks, and if you've joined us each week, we bring these up every week because there's folks that jump in for a week or two and then jump back out. We talked about lighter lights and darker darks. We talked about variation of lines. So some lines are thick and dark, and sometimes we go back in space, they're weighted. If you're drawing with a soft charcoal, maybe it's thick, and then as it comes towards you can be light, almost to an absent line, and then as you go back down, it pushes back down, it gets heavy. So lighter lights, darker darks, variation of line. Eyes-ish are about one eye apart. I suppose if you're looking a little bit on an angle, not straight on, and then that would vary. Generally speaking, we had an exception to that a few weeks ago with Luke, but generally speaking, the eyes are in the middle of the head. So if you're dropping down shapes, the eyes are in the middle of the head. And so we're going to just kind of throw those out as some tips here. Week one. You know who I haven't seen? I haven't seen Wally. Juan, I haven't seen Juan out there.
No, Juan.
Is Juan out there?
I thought so.
He must have joined out when I wasn't even looking.
I may be wrong. We're only at 34 right now, so maybe. But I that's true. I have not seen Wally's name come up. He might be doing something.
Oh, you know what I just remembered?
No.
Brian he's usually quiet behind the scenes drawing pictures of Tim, who's also drawing, which I love he's like a draftsman. I don't remember what he did, but he's like an engine. I don't know, he's precise, Brian is.
Okay.
But I was going to bring up the fact that Tim posted a picture
of him
of Brian, and then Carol from Singapore did an eyeshadow portrait of Brian.
And it was, as usual, terrific and incredible work. But it was nice to see Brian get some work done of him.
Oh.
He's always kind of hanging out.
Yeah, I just saw Wally.
Ooh,
We're
hi
glad
Wally.
You're here.
And Michelle says she's using clay tonight. Yay! I don't think we've had anybody else doing clay or paper mache or anything more 3D. So I'm excited to see the results of that. Thank you for sharing, Michelle.
Well, first of all, people know that I butcher last names all the time.
Yeah.
But I am in total confusion because is it Michelle Julie or is it Julie Michelle? But that is,
I don't know.
because before I said Julie Michelle and now it's looking like it says Michelle Julie, and I'm just confused. But
Maybe
she is
just
the one who
transposed it.
it probably it was
Or
probably
maybe there is a Julie Michelle. Maybe we have both. Maybe we have a Michelle Julie.
no.
and a
This
Julie
is
Michelle.
the same person, but this is the one who joined. It was like a mother-daughter draw.
Yes, that sent the photos.
Oh, by
That's
the way,
So
Michelle,
thank you for sharing.
your daughter is
Super
hopefully
talented.
she's drawing tonight because what
She's
you
good.
shared, she's good.
Yeah, I totally. I can't imagine doing that at 16. I mean, granted, I didn't have any art lessons or anything, so I didn't really have the training to know I could do that at 16, and really many of us can. You know, it's all about learning and the environment and encouraging it, and I totally at 16 couldn't have imagined doing what she's doing. I mean, that's some beautiful work.
So please pass, if she's
Yes.
not with us tonight, please pass our salute to her work. She's a prodigy, certainly, and we're excited to see what she does. And we're excited that you're working with clay tonight because that's super cool. So, okay, we'll do a reveal because
Oh yeah.
we've got 20 minutes. So Beth and I we're artists and we work in many different mediums, but for those folks who are newer, are probably just may realize or may have known or are discovering now, one of the mediums that we work in is special effects makeup. And we'll do everything from kind of old school makeup application using using just paints, soft paints, powders, theatrical powders, using grease paints, using alcohol-based makeup. What's that?
Water-based.
Oh yeah, water-based
Yeah.
makeup. We've done some extreme face painting. We've done some extreme body painting. We've done prosthetics, life casting, and in our many decades of work, we've had a chance to do many things. So, to change things up, we're gonna put a character, one of our special effects characters, in
This is on Tuesday.
this Tuesday.
Yeah.
This Tuesday. So this Tuesday at 7 Eastern Standard Time. Of course, it'll be in the Tuesday at 7 page, so we hope you are accessing it there. But we're going to put one of our characters in front of the camera, and there's going to be short poses. It's not going to be sitting for a period of time. It's going to be short poses. I don't know what that's going to look like, but we'll figure that out before Tuesday. Short poses is going to be less than a minute. 30 seconds.
That short?
Because they're going to do screen grabs. I mean, when they find what they like, they can stop. I mean, it's not going to be live drawing. There's going to be, by the time that we talk about the makeup, talk about how it was applied, talk about some of the
And we'll
cheats.
be doing the makeup on.
No,
Are we?
I don't think
doing
so.
That?
I think what we're
okay.
going to do is we're going to just step in front of the camera in some type of character makeup, and then we'll talk about what we did in terms of the makeup, because we got a special effects group out there that would be really interested in that. Maybe if you're an artist that's not in special effects, hopefully you'll find that interesting, and
something fun to work with.
Yeah.
You know, a different portrait to draw that certainly might not have ever been come up. You know, before.
And so it's going to be a short session, but it's going to allow you to find a pose that you like, grab it, and work with it. And that's going to be probably a deviation from the traditional portrait drawing, because we find that there's probably going to be a lot of people that are going to draw things that they don't see. They're going to create their own feel. They're going to add things. There'll be maybe a little bit of posing, maybe a little bit of life drawing. It's not going to be just portrait. So it's going to give you a whole bunch of stuff to have fun with, essentially, I guess is what we're going to do. It's going to bring a lot of the non-portrait people, the illustrators, maybe your comic folks out there. Going to have some fun. And then for the portrait artists, it's going to give you something offbeat to draw. So that's going to be this Tuesday at 7. We'll put out those reminders as well. And,
So it is
So-
Julie Michelle, you were right.
it is Julie Michelle.
She's just psyching us out.
I went to school with a guy named Troy Frank. His name was Troy Frank.
I went to church with the Dave Davies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went to school with a Demetrius.
Oh, that's right.
So we're all over the place. But Troy Frank, every
Two
single
first names.
every year we'd have a teacher who just named him Frank Troy, and they called him
Because
Frank
they assumed it
because
was
it was just whatever.
reversed. That's funny.
And it was often a math teacher who had trouble like flipping it back over. I remember it. I remember it clearly, like Mr. Engelhardt.
You remember everything clearly from school, though. You could probably recount.
I remember the things that were funny, certainly.
Well, yeah, there was a lot of funny things.
Or
Yeah.
traumatic.
Well, yeah.
So there's a lot of those things in high school. Funny and
That's
traumatic
true.
experiences.
That's very true. I
And
think
we're
that
happy.
defines high school
We're
very
happy,
well.
Julie, that you are encouraging your daughter to draw tonight
Yes,
because
please.
she is really
Yeah.
good. I mean, you could.
And the same thing for Lily. We hope that she's sketching with us tonight too, because she's also talented.
Sure.
And we want the part of the purpose of the Tuesday at 7, and I'm sure the Pretentious Cleveland Portrait Artists is to engage all ages of artists and to allow the younger, newer artists to encourage and refresh the more mature artists, and for the mature artists to mentor and inform and encourage the younger artists. And so I think it's kind of fun that the more mature artists can do something with this that might not necessarily have thought of doing before, and for the younger artists to see how they can create and work within a more classic genre in this newer digital framework. So it's really nicely entwined in the just portrait drawing and artistic endeavors.
So, I have been working, of course, because we're isolated, right? And our this is a complete generalization, and I shouldn't make generalizations because they're rarely true. But I think this one might have some truth to it. Our ladies are reading.
That's true.
Our ladies are reading.
I haven't been over the last week or so. For some reason, I lost a little bit of my mojo with the reading, but I tore through a ton of books at the beginning of the shutdown.
And so maybe there's other ladies out there that have found the same thing. But what generalization we men are doing? YouTube.
Yeah.
We're spending a lot of
yeah.
time on YouTube, and so in doing so, I'm a big fan of personal growth, and so I'm kind of ashamed that I haven't read any fiction. I'm not ashamed I haven't read any fiction. Maybe I should be proud of that. Like
I don't think it's something to be proud or ashamed of. I think it's just a preference, and some people are not drawn to fiction.
Well, shame is a strong word, but what I meant by that is maybe I should loosen up and just read some fiction, I guess is my point.
Yeah, I think you could at least try it. You're 53. You could try reading a fiction book once. Add that to your bucket list. I'm going to finish.
You should just told everybody my age.
That's true.
That's all right. You can tell my age.
I'm pretty sure you've mentioned it at some point in time during the last 8 weeks, but I do think that everybody should read a novel or two in their life, and everybody should read a biography or an autobiography or a nonfiction. I lean more toward fiction, although I have an affinity for historically accurate fiction. So And I also like fiction from other countries. I'm a huge fan of oh my gosh, my brain, the Kite Runner. I'm sure someone else, Khaled Hossein, I'll have to Google it. Amy Tan, who wrote The Joy Luck Club, and so talks about being a Chinese American daughter with immigrant parents. There's a really, really good local Cleveland-based artist who's Indian, Thridi Umrigar, and
Easy for you to say.
if I'm saying it right. It's easy, that doesn't mean it's correct, so I could be slaughtering her name.
Guys, welcome to my life.
Hey!
What I mean by that is, like, as Beth has been, and I am meaning to interrupt you, but just for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
You've been hitting the books.
I have been hitting
and
the books
some
hard.
historical great stuff, and I've been hitting YouTube.
That's true.
So, anyways.
But we're both learning things.
Yeah. But what I was going to say, and I'm going to hand it right back to you,
Sure.
because I completely...
I did kind of interrupt and distract from what you were trying to say.
I wasn't really distracted. And nor is there really any shame behind not reading fiction. It's just that I think sometimes I probably should loosen up and kick back some fiction.
I can guarantee that I will find a fiction book that you like. And Luke just said that he says, I want you to recommend a book for me sometime, Aunt Beth. And so I will find a book for Luke, and I will find a fiction book and a fiction author that you enjoy. Now, Roger does read, so just because, he reads nonfiction, he really enjoys autobiographies, especially of musical artists that you enjoy, or you've read other autobiographies.
That is a weakness, and it's
that's a preference.
There's strength and weakness. There's strength and weakness.
I don't think that's a weakness.
And so no, I'm not. I don't have issues with what I'm trying to say is that my weakness is that I spend a lot of time reading.
Oh, gotcha. Like
these
I have a weakness
autobiographies
for
or biographies of musicians, whether it's Kurt Cobain or Prince Rogers Nelson, Anthony Kiedis.
Did you finish the what's his face?
Mike Doty?
Yeah, did you finish that book?
Yeah, and he
good?
signed it. Yeah, I finished it within a few weeks after he signed it. There on Valentine's Day.
I knew you were still reading it. I just didn't know.
Oh yeah, I burned through that one.
Good.
And it was good.
It was good.
The Mike Doty's Book of Drugs was good. It was 2/3. The first 2/3
was drugs.
Was drugs.
And
that's the name.
Fair enough, because that is the title of the book.
But the last third was more heart. It was more recovery and rise above. It was a great last third. Well worth the read. Mike Doty's Book of Drugs. But that's what I find myself reading. But the reason why I like reading those musician biographies, autobiographies, is I love to hear stories. I love to hear the stories, which is, I think, the birth of these Tues 8-7 interviews, is because I think that when you really peel back the layers of artists and creatives, there's some incredible stories to hear.
Absolutely.
And so that's why I read those.
Well, and not only that, but to hear the story behind the music that you so enjoy intensifies the how much you enjoy the music. And one of the reasons that you really jumped into YouTube is you were reading, was it Prince's autobiography? And you would jump into, you'd be reading something and he would talk about no, it was Dave Matthews.
No, Johnny Cash.
Johnny Cash, that's right. And you'd be reading that, and then you'd go to YouTube and you'd look up and you'd be able to see the exact concert that they were talking about in the autobiography and the biography, And so it really amplified the story for you, both in the experience from Johnny Cash's perspective, but also the performance. And I would say that's probably part of the real pleasure of it, because then you're like, oh, I can do this with the Dave Matthews book and Prince, and you did a lot with the Anthony Kiedis.
Oh yeah, I mean, if
U2, didn't you
yeah,
do that? That was,
I did it with
you
U2
did
as
a ton
well,
with the U2
but
book.
there is a gaping hole, and I'm a huge fan. Surprise, surprise. Of this this award-winning, Grammy-winning. He walked away with awards for years. Superstar, and I haven't read anything about it. And I am the only thing that I'm ashamed of is I have not yet read a biography or autobiography on Roger Miller.
Oh yeah,
Like
that's
Roger
true.
Miller,
And
the
we
country,
love his
like
music.
Dang Me,
Yeah.
Can't Skate, no,
Buffalo Herd.
yeah, and a Buffalo Herd.
King of the Road, of course. But I mean, that's the fun thing is you're Roger Miller, but we actually like Roger Miller's music. So yeah, we'll have to look up Roger Miller biographies or autobiographies. And Pat Phillips says he just finished Bruce Springsteen's autobiography. Was it good? Because I would actually, my mom's from New Jersey, and so I have to have joy for Bruce Springsteen just in my genetics. And I've never been a huge Springsteen fan. I can see why he's so popular. That's not ever been one that I don't think I'd go to a concert, but I would definitely probably enjoy reading his autobiography. So I may jump into that if you recommend it, Pat.
He is a storyteller.
Yes.
He is a storyteller,
Yes.
and I.
He says it was good.
Yeah. About the time is kind of crazy because about the time that I had some of my high school buddies were Springsteen fans, of course I was listening to stuff that was completely unexpected. It was early Cure and some of that new wave, Dead Milkmen, Ramones.
Because New Wave was wonderful.
Yeah, I love new wave, and so I spent a good 8 years listening to a whole lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I always find myself listening to some John Cougar. And it was just
yeah.
John Cougar at the time. It was yeah.
He hadn't made the shift.
He hadn't made the shift yet. It was just John Cougar. But anyways, but Bruce Springsteen, he's a storyteller.
He is. Yep. He's more, and I would imagine he probably will say that he's more storyteller than musician. I think I would be, I don't know, I think I'd be interested. I'm sure there's something out there for Billy Joel too.
I haven't.
I do like Billy Joel music. I grew up on Billy Joel also, and I always greatly enjoyed that. And I don't know much about him either, other than he's from the New York area. So that might be another interesting kind of grassroots, blue-collar story to read.
So I'd ask people what they're listening to tonight, but if they're listening to it, they can't respond to the question, right? So I guess that's a useless... Unless you're listening to us chatter and listening to this music. But Sarah reins us back in because she's rereading the letters between Vincent and Theo. And I'm a huge...
Mm-hmm.
I love the backstory on Van Gogh.
Mm-hmm.
That's the appropriate way of saying it, right?
I have no idea.
I'm holding my pinky up as I'm saying
But that, I have not read that, and that would be one that I would enjoy reading. I would like that.
We have probably more, and you know what I mean. He's
We do have a lot of
he's so
books.
popular, but I don't read his stuff because he's popular. I read the backstory. I look at the art's inspiring.
You actually like it.
I actually like it.
Yeah.
And so
Same thing with Picasso. You know, you like Picasso because you like Picasso, not because it's Picasso. You know, I mean, you can enjoy it even if it was a popular artist. But I'm all right. So we're gonna be on the hunt now for the novel for you to read sometime.
yeah. So
This year.
we went in a giant circle.
We did.
we went in a giant circle, and so as the ladies have been reading, and we men have been, I'm overgeneralized, we've been watching YouTube, that I have spent 3 weeks trying to document my why. I mean, some people would say, like, that's a purpose statement, but I have been documenting my why. I'm in my 50s.
For Tuesday at 7. Why?
No.
Or just your
that's
why in
my
general?
why.
Oh, okay.
I mean, this isn't what do I want on my
been...
tombstone. I'm not talking about my...
Oh, good, because I already have plans for the whatever interesting...
I'm going to have a friend sculpt a tombstone.
Because you were kind of looking at a why for Tuesday at 7 too. So is this a separate, different why that we had been discussing, or is this the same one that you were kind of telling me about?
It's a big why.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a big why, and so it transcends. It transcends
anything so specific as your Tuesday at 7.
It's a general why, and so it would apply to Tuesday at 7, because the reason why we pressed that button over 2 years ago was because there was a longing for it that was planted in my why, and so that was some. If nothing else comes out of this isolation, this COVID isolation, and then that did.
Absolutely, and that's good. I will say, so we're finishing up. I think we're really, really close. Yeah, we have 1 minute left in this second sitting, and I don't want to cut that off because that's a very interesting thing. But just a reminder, we're going to stop the live stream in about a minute, because we'll be wrapping up this second session with the first pose. We will be off for a few minutes, and then when we come back on, Jay will still be kind of taking his 15-minute break, and then when he comes back, we'll start the second pose. I will also post this on Facebook too, so if we cut out, don't forget that's intentional, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. And then you can just click right back on the second video and have access right back to us in this engaging conversation, and Jay's second pose for the 2 more half-hour sessions. And I'm gonna, while you're talking, I'm gonna type that out here.
So while we come back, Jay, you can go ahead and relax for a moment.
Yep.
While we come back, I'm going to jump over there just so if people don't have the sound off, I'll get in front of them and tell them that.
Yes.
We'll save it. If you want to continue to draw this pose, once it's saved, you can get back to it. If you're not interested in this pose again, we're going to go ahead and shut off, and we're going to start a new pose. But send these photos either by instant message to Tim Herron, Tim, oh, obviously they know Tim, Herron, Herron, Tim Herron. You could send it, or you could email it to manlypad@sbcglobal.net. It's nice if you email them because they're usually higher resolution, so manlypad@sbcglobal.net. And we're gonna cut off here. We're gonna go down, save the video, and we'll be back up. And then the second sitting, we're gonna plan on going. If you're here in the Eastern Time Zone, we're gonna start the second sitting. If you're live as well at 9 o'clock. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut off. We'll be back in about 5 to 10 minutes, and we'll start our second pose. All right, guys. Talk soon.